I was a mental mess, being not able to hold anything, being completely dysregulated. Then you start yelling, oh my God, this is not the version I want to be towards my partner and my child and people around me. How do I want to approach the day? With what kind of energy do I want to start?
Have you ever felt that your life is already so full? There's so much pressure, so many things you're holding, so much stress that if there's just one more thing crashing, coming unexpectedly, or going off schedule, off track, you're going to lose it. If so, this episode of the Zen Supermom Podcast is for you because you're going to meet Jen, a mom, super busy supermom who was trying to do exactly that, and she did not have that space. She could not hold everything that she had in her life. And so what was happening, she was then collapsing and yelling and doing all of this, and her daughter was on the receiving side of it. So what is it that she's doing differently? How come now she can be that playful mom who can turn a bedtime routine into a game? How come she can now put up the phone with the toxic boss who's trying to harass her and yell at her and not feel all this pressure and panic like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I just put down the phone. How come she can hold it? How come even though she's as busy as she was ever before, she's feeling so peaceful, and you will see it in her energy? Like, what changed at her? How come all these breathing techniques and stuff, it didn't work for her, but it's working for her now? What is different? What is it that she did that has actually nothing to do with the present nervous system regulation or with parenting techniques and stuff? What was it? If you're curious because you're struggling with something very similar, then please know there is hope. And let's go and meet Jen so that she can tell you herself. You're going to love it. I'm just laughing already. Hi, Jen. Thank you for being here on the Zen Supermom podcast.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, Eleanor.
And thank you for doing it today because I want to be, as we discussed before I hit the record button, I am totally transparent. And I
Mhm.
wanted to share before we started recording, I was even giving you a way out that you can actually, like, if it feels too heavy, like, we don't have to do it today. So, do you want to share a little bit? Because that's part of the story, right?
Yes, I guess so. So basically, before we started the record button, you asked me if I'm okay, and I said, yeah, well, actually, I'm pretty exhausted. I am really exhausted. I had to work through the weekend, evenings. I had I had a lot of commitments. Then being a mom, doing the household, all the daily life, preparing for meditation course and this and the other. But I actually decided I want to do this. I've never done this before, so I've been a little bit nervous. But when you ask me the question, it's like, well, it doesn't change anything because my life will always be busy. And what I notice as well, PQ reps or taking mini pauses, breathing really helps me to calm and gives me also courage. I mean, this whole program has put me into an area in my life, a point in my life where I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I've never done this before, but I can do this. It has really worked on my confidence and capacity to hold things in my life. Because let's be honest, there's always something, there's always stresses, there's always the external that keeps changing, and you're bombarded. And I think where I'm at, I really feel centered, or I'm able, even if I don't feel centered, I notice it and bring me back into my center, and being able to focus more. So, what I learned from the program, when I started, my window of tolerance, what I'm able to deal with was very, very small. So the tiny things, oh my God, the cup wasn't on the right place and just like, oh, threw me off. This window has been hugely widened.
Yeah.
And and I just noticed that actually this week. where I was able to ask for help. My husband, can you take this on because this week will be huge for me, which I normally wouldn't have, because I can do this. I can, so that was helpful for me, taking some of the daily routines with my daughter off my plate. And then it's like looking at my kitchen right now. I'm like, yeah, it's not the way I want it to be, but it's taking a step back, slowing down. Is that really important right now? It's only me in the house. I'm seeing it. Who cares? That sort of thing. So I've learned dealing with urgency that are made up to be urgent.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that because it's so important for moms who will be listening to us and they will recognize themselves in your story. Now, the tricky part is this is what you're doing right now, and it's already working for you because there's much deeper work you've done for it to work. Because there are moms who will be sitting here and they'll be feeling like, what the heck? I am doing breathing, I am asking people for help, but I'm not as lucky as her. I don't have a husband. And like I am not freaking out about cleaning up, but I'm still yelling at my kids. I'm still not being the mom I want. So how come it's working for her and I tried that? That's not working for me. So what's wrong with me? So let's start at the beginning, and we will not be here like diagnosing millions of moms who might be listening later. But to the extent that you feel comfortable sharing, I would be interested in where is it really that you were before we met? Like, what was the biggest challenge? And then, usually, the key point for moms that they don't even realize that, oh my goodness, this is not even about the pressure and stress that I'm experiencing today. It has roots all the way back in the past before I even became a mom. So, share like whatever you feel comfortable sharing about that, like those beginnings and before.
Hmm. Okay, when I started, I was a mental mess, being not able to hold anything, to manage anything without feeling it in my body, being completely dysregulated. And hence, when you're dysregulated, then you start yelling. Then you start behaving in a way where I'm like, oh my God, this is not the version I want to be towards my partner and my child and people around me, you know? So that's when I decided to seek help, and I phoned you and I'm like, well, look, I don't have anything to lose. Let's just go for it, try it. And I'd say the reason that I are able to hope more is consistency. Consistency is the key of doing my daily practice. If it's breathing or any other technique that I've been shown through the program. Oh dear. Um,
That's okay. Do you need to go
yeah.
and get it?
Uh, yes, just a second.
Okay. We are going to pause and come back.
So,
Yeah, so we are back perfectly imperfect. As I said, there will be no edits out. This is real life. We might be disturbed during this podcast episode, and that's okay. Yeah.
uh, so consistency is really the key. And also, what I have been practicing when I wake up, I've already set the day and like, how do I want to approach the day? With what kind of energy do I want to start? Setting the scene, basically, and doing this every single day has automatically changed me step by step, little by little, and not forcing. It's not a forcing thing, it's just remembering to do it. Little things can be done no matter what you do. Brushing the teeth, doing the dishes, even in conversation, when somebody triggers me, I'm like, okay, just go into the body. It really does help. And the amount of empathy I suddenly have for people and myself, I guess for myself sometimes first and then for others, is enormous. And you're right. There is definitely trauma in my life that I had to address and to learn about, which the one-to-one sessions have really helped. And in particular, for me, the inner child healing. So I have a lot of childhood trauma, and meeting me there, trying to reparent myself was key to understand and meet my child on that level.
Can you give us some examples how that is connected? Because there might be moms who will be listening who either have experienced childhood trauma or who felt like me, I had a happy childhood, so this is not for me. Like, what is she talking about? So I have nothing to clean up through whatever sessions. So what did you find out for you? How was that connected? Whatever happened to you in your childhood, and we don't have to go into details, but what was the thing that stayed with you that was preventing you from being able to do these things like every mom wants to do, like as you said, in the morning think about what energy I want to show up with, how do I want to show up for my family. That's beautiful, but there will be moms who will be listening and who will be saying, well, that's what I want as well, but and I want it for 5 minutes until my kid wakes up, hits me with something overhead, or like whatever happens. Yeah, and then they're off. So what was it for you? How was your childhood linked with your current triggers as a mom?
Oh, that's a very good question. I guess the answer is it is not my fault. I was just a child. Things happened to me and none of it was my doing.
Yeah.
And then observing my daughter, she's also just a child. What children do. I don't want to kill her joy or courage or being confident, which can be seen in a different light when you're stressed. Like, oh, why do you do this right now? But she's just a child. Let her be that innocent, joyous being that I felt I couldn't be for reasons of my parents' trauma,
Yeah.
things that happened to me, but actually to realize I'm all I need to be. I am good enough.
And that's important because the link is often between the childhood and the trigger right now is I'm not good enough, I'm out of control, I'm powerless, I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not protected, I'm not safe. And that's what triggers usually moms, even though like it happens too fast and you don't even realize it because it's, yeah, as you said, like maybe it's because of the cup is on the wrong side of the kitchen or whatever and you explode. And most of the people would never even think about linking it with I'm out of control.
Mm.
Nobody appreciates me. I'm not seen. Yeah. So for you, it was the not good enough. Is that what
Yeah,
I hear
and
you say?
also not having a voice,
Yeah.
like pretty much like whatever was happening to me, having those feelings or whatever was not wanted. Like as in I don't know. I mean, my parents would never say shut up, but it didn't need to happen that way, like very much felt I had no voice.
Yeah.
That is very much what I try to do differently for my daughter. I want her to feel safe and comfortable telling me things, and not like, oh, I don't have time for you right now. Giving her, you're not important. What you say, is not important to me. So the inner child work really, really put a huge focus on that.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful distinctions that you're sharing here because so many people think that trauma is just horrible things that happen in the childhood, not realizing that trauma is not just what happened, trauma is also what did not happen. So exactly as you said, it's not that somebody would be yelling at you like shut up, but it's how it made you feel, like the emotional scar it left. And
Connection.
if that was just like one situation or one example of pattern, that would be okay. That would still didn't mean anything for you in your further life. But if there were like 1,000 paper cuts,
Yeah,
situations like this piled up in different,
100%. And connection, if I think about it, it was a major thing that I felt disconnected. because my parents didn't have much time, and even if they then had time, almost like my mum definitely has been dissociated.
Can you
And
share what you mean dissociated for people who don't know what that
that she was physically there, but mentally not available.
yeah.
And knowing this, obviously, I try to be different raising my daughter and always make sure that I have an ear and an eye and open, welcome her when she has to share stuff. Even if it's something like, no, he could have told me that later, you know. But I think it's important for me to break the cycle that way.
Beautiful. And congratulations for being able to do it and making progress. Perfectly perfect, as I always say.
Sure.
Can you share some example? Because there will be moms who will be listening and thinking like, okay, so you just let your daughter do whatever, disrupt you when you're busy, and maybe make you be late just because you don't want to be ugly mom who doesn't make her feel heard because you were not heard. Like, can you share some example where you do set boundaries?
Oh,
So
God.
that we
Yeah,
show
this
like it's
morning.
not black or white, but like there need to be boundaries, right? Because you're not saying like just let your daughter do or say whatever whenever, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, best example was this morning. She has to go on a school bus and she was, oh, mommy, can you come in my room? I need to show you this song. And I'm like, no, we need to go and catch the bus because the consequence is that you get a red mark in school because I don't have time to drive you, you know. But it's it's funny as soon as I changed in my behavior, and it's not like, oh, I yell at her, go, 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 you know, putting pressure on her. Soon as my behavior changed, I mean, it almost was instant. She changed with her behavior, and I can talk to her, whereas before when I'm stressed, she's almost like trying to avoid me. That listening was like, oh no, I'm staying away from mom. Exactly. Because she's dysregulated. It's a feeling that they get, right? So she is way more open and listen, not all the time, obviously, you know, but she's more available because I am more available to her. Yeah, of course, you know, there is also the get into bed routine. Can you please brush your teeth? Da, da, da. And I said that before somewhere in on one of the group calls, making it fun, breaking the routine with something exciting, which her like for her is like, ooh, something else is happening here in the routine, breaking the routine, but it's I still get her to bed in time because she understands she can't be that exhausted in the morning when she goes to school. And it's funny, last week or so, she said, Mom, we need to go to bed, so I'm not tired in the morning. I'm like, wow. Yeah. It's like she understands consequences, you know, when the boundaries are not set, there is a natural consequence, not a punishment.
And I love this for two reasons, and I want to keep it hold it in my brain now so that we work through both layers because this is fantastic. What you're saying on one layer, you're no longer like you're not the police mom
Mm.
who makes it like it's my rule and that's why you need to listen because I'm already stressed out. So don't make me shout at you, meaning like me shouting and my stress is your fault, which puts the
Mhm.
blame and like what kind of emotional role model is that, right? No judgment. This is what I was doing as well, but it is a pattern that needs to be healed and realize, recognize. So you're not turning yourself into police mom. It's natural
Not anymore.
consequences. It's not that go brush your teeth because I said so. That's why you need to do it now because I don't have time for this. It's like, no, there is a natural consequence with or without you. This is going to happen. So that's what I love about it. And then the second thing is the over explaining. There are moms who go into pattern that over explains, that want
Mhm.
to, yeah, you'll be tired tomorrow and blah, 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 blah. So much storytelling. And so then the kid, they like turn
Yeah,
off,
they're shut off. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, next question, I'm curious
Yeah.
if we talk about that specific example, because morning rush and bedtime routines are classic for most of the moms.
Hmm.
It's like that's the time when things go off. What was it before that was preventing you from being this calm and playful during bedtime? Because normally this advice, like it is parenting advice, classic, like, yeah, either distract your child when they're having a tantrum or make it playful, make it a game. That's a classic parenting advice. How come it didn't work for you before and it works for you now? What's the secret?
Yeah, well, I guess that I was so tied up with my own stuff, being in my head, being not present, just like go, 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 no, having no further perspective of what was actually going on. Being narrow-minded would be a word that comes to mind. Having no room for any extra stuff. And I guess by doing the work, so the PQ reps, and it's an awareness thing that I realized, oh, I'm tight, I'm tense. So you make it really impossible almost to have a good bedtime routine, you know, because whatever you are, it's projected onto them. And then you have got two forces, and yeah, in the end, it's just a struggle,
Yeah,
right?
love it. Yeah.
Whereas now, I feel freer mentally and physically because I am not as tensed. I'm also, what did she say the other? Oh, mom, you're so much fun, you know? Exactly. And that makes the difference when I am able to come out of the tight, tense scenario, mentally and physically, I'm able to open up. And it's almost like the doors open, right? So that's what she feels. And then she just, it's almost like she loves to listen what I say. Almost like, oh, what's coming next? You know, so at the moment we are on the if I'm in bed early, done brush my teeth, the bath, da, 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 we have got time to do my favorite game in bed. Oh my God. You
That
know,
was her suggestion, huh?
yes.
Oh my goodness. How old is she?
6. She's
It's
just turned
beautiful. This
6.
is a
That's
dream.
so she loved that. She's evenly, no, 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 I don't want a book. I want this game. I'm like, okay, well then we have to make time, you know?
And she has the choice and she feels
Yes.
she's important enough for you to make the time. And it's not about the routine itself and being rigid, police mom, controlling, but it's about what is it that will make her feel like she's in control and at peace, and that actually she finishes her day with the most fun moment
Yeah, and she
with
goes
you.
happy to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the best way to fall asleep, like for all of us, even adults, right? This is not
Yes.
just kids, right?
Yes, it is.
This is so amazing. Congratulations. What I love about this is you're describing exactly the same pattern of what trickles down, right? So many moms are focused and you're mentioning the theme that I hear you mention throughout your sharing is your ability to hold space.
Yeah.
Yeah. That before it was so, and you were describing it as you were narrow-minded. And what that means is really like when you're so stressed out under so much pressure internally, it's your nervous system. It's you don't have space for anything else. You don't have the capacity to hold anybody else's emotions because you cannot already hold yours. And what you're describing here is also how this inner work worked for you because we were not just working on your nervous system regulation in the moment. You were connecting it with the past and with how it felt before when you were not heard, you were not good enough. And so that's why it works now. And it's so fantastic to hear those examples where your daughter is already making it hers and she's able to turn it in her brain and make it fun and make it light and connect naturally with you and want to listen to you because the energy is so much different. So this is
Yeah.
so good, Jen.
That reminds me of something else, what she did in bed. She was like putting her hands on her chest and said, Mom, I think I need to do some breathing because I feel a bit agitated and I can't fall asleep like this.
You're
Yeah,
kidding me.
jaw
6 year
drop,
old.
jaw drop. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, what has happened here? And it's so beautiful to see she's going to take that into her life from very little.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, for any skeptics here thinking like, yeah, yeah, easy for you, you have just one daughter. Wait, if you would have twin boys like I do, whatever. Yeah, we are doing the same with like listen to another podcast episode of moms with twin boys and 4 kids and 8 kids and yeah. So good, Jen. So beautiful. Are there any other examples you felt like sharing?
Uh, Nothing with my daughter comes to mind, but in general, when I have tricky conversations, business-like or with my partner, I'm also able to hold the space and be very calm. Even if I feel, oh, the emotions coming up, I'm being triggered, I'm able to contain myself and not suppress in that way. But it's more as like I take emotional responsibility for myself. Um, yeah, it's great. um, Also the empathy piece, which is huge for me. I am able because I've done this work and have the empathy for me now that I'm able to question, oh, you just don't know what's going on in the other person's life. You just don't know. So, treat everyone with the loving kindness, respect that you want to receive. Yeah, so basically, I'm saying because my heart space opened, I'm able to give so much love more than before. It might sound cheesy, but I can't describe it in another way.
And we can see it in your energy. You're not making it up. Like you wouldn't be
Mm.
shining the way you are if you were trying to fake anything. And I love it this example because this is what shows it's not just the distinction when you said if somebody triggers me, you're not going into people pleasing and collapse and avoidance, like, oh, please just don't make them upset with me. So I'm going to stay calm. You're not going into swallowing your anger, just like I'm feeling angry, but I'm not going to yell. But inside, I'm still feeling angry. And I will keep thinking 3 days later what I should have said, or how dare they say or do this. You're not holding any of these like contradictions inside anymore. You cleaned it up. And through your practice, you're able to stay open, but with those safe boundaries still around. Do you have any example of somebody who was trying to like push you, like any toxic kind of like, whoa, and
Yeah, my boss.
yeah, okay, no
Constantly.
names here. Hi there. It's good. Okay.
Yes.
But we
Yeah.
need some example now because it might feel
So,
like, oh, she's a lovey-dovey now, open heart, but then people will abuse you, take advantage of her. So no, show us how you dealt with that.
um, I should show you because this example just sprung up into my mind. And it's probably not exactly what you want to hear, but I got so triggered, I could feel my whole body trembling that I decided to hang up and terminate the conversation because she wasn't listening. I couldn't get through. And I'm like, and I did say, please let me speak. And there was like nothing. I terminated the conversation to look after myself, to take care of my body, my being, everything. And I think this is an important point as well. Take care of yourself, very important. So once I hung up, the phone's ringing, messages, and just like, no, I need to recover from this, because the alternative to that would have been that I started shouting and, and it gets messy and I will regret something that I would have said. And then this whole like drama. So I decided I can't get anywhere. I'm going to look after myself. And then after this, it sort of resolved by itself, without me going into normally what would have happened is like, oh my God, what have I done? This is not good. It's all my fault. I should, all this, da di da di da di da di da, putting myself down, annihilating myself, like put myself really down. And I didn't. what I prioritized was myself.
Yeah, and
And
getting back into regulated nervous system who can decide and choose next action with clarity and focus rather than the
yeah,
pattern mechanism of I'm not heard, how dare she, I'm not good enough, and then fighting
correct.
back. Yeah, either
And what I
collapsing or aggressively fighting back, which makes it worse either way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did immediately heart focus breathing just to bring myself back and giving me that love and that kindness that I needed so badly after being triggered so hard. And then it almost, yeah, like I said, I didn't really do much. It resolved itself. I didn't have to repair, I didn't have to explain, and I didn't feel the need to explain. And sort of it just fizzled out. And I don't know, the relationship has been really, really good ever since. So, because I think I showed her where my boundaries are,
She cannot
like
bulldoze.
no
Yeah.
further. I can't take this, and I won't, and I don't want to. And please respect my space and the person I am.
Fantastic.
And now I can't
Beautiful.
remember what the question was
That
originally.
was perfect answer for the
Okay.
question, indeed. How do you stand up to bullies and how do you sort out
Hmm.
yourself in toxic situations when people are trying to cross your boundaries? Are you still this open-hearted and just anybody come and take a stab at my heart? Of course you're not. You're protecting it. Again, with calm and
Yeah.
clarity, taking care of your nervous system. This is so beautiful, Jen. Thank you so much. You've
I
shared
have
already.
another example, which
Yeah,
happened
you have
yesterday.
more.
Yeah, which happened yesterday, and I would be very upset normally and very hurt. There was my other half was saying yesterday something that I didn't understand. It was an English saying that I never heard before, and what he done by the way he was talking to me is like belittling me. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Normally I would like, this is not fair and making a drama. I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute. So now let's flip it. You don't speak my language at all, you know. And the way, because I was calm, I was able to communicate with him. And then he's like, oh yeah. I just shot myself in the foot. Like, I'm sorry. But what the other side would have been if I got so triggered and I give him like da 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 da, then he's got a reason to also hype up. And so I avoided a complete drama and argument that way.
Perfect. And that just proves it's about the pattern. It's not the stress. It's not about who triggers you by doing or saying what. It's how you react, how your nervous system learned how to react in the past. You rewired it and you continue to practice that in the present moment. And you can already see the results. And the confirmation about your daughter is just like the future recipe and the future proof that you're on the right path because this is exactly the healthy way of how to deal with stress and toxic people. So
Yeah. So I
good.
guess I come from a highly reactive person now in a field that I'm able to respond. And also sometimes silence is also good, not to respond. Knowing it's the discernment that I think that completely changed. Like, hold on a minute. I don't even have to reply to this. There is no need to reply.
And this is the most important skill that you learned and know how to practice is that exactly the discernment. There are people who are looking for tips and scripts and strategies, but then they are so surprised. How come it doesn't work in this situation with this person? Well, this is why. It might have been a great strategy, but for a child of a different age or for a partner or a boss in a different situation, not in this. The fact that you can discern and realize where should I need to set a boundary? Where can I soften and make it like a playful, hey, 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 yeah? Or even turn it
Mhm.
into a joke with your daughter and playful, like, let's make a game out of this. This discernment is key. Yeah. So,
And I thank you for that.
congratulations. It's all you're doing, it's all your practice. And I hope that this, like you sharing so many examples, and thank you for being so open and sharing it like with full vulnerability, because I believe this is what moms who will be listening and watching us, they need to hear, not because we are comparing you, not because we are saying Jen is better in any way than you are. She just took a look at the whole continuum, not just a segment like, how let me do breathing so I don't get triggered now. Like, no, she looked at the whole thing. Where is it that it's coming from? How come I cannot? How come breathing alone does not help me right now? Because if you're trying things like yoga, mindfulness, some somatic practice, and it's not working for you, then it's not because you're not good enough or these things don't work. It's because there's something else that happened much earlier that is still triggering the old reaction. So, you, Jen, for having had the courage to look at it, heal it, like work through that, and keep up with your practice. That takes a lot of courage, really. So I want to recognize you here, and that's why I'm so happy that you shared your story here. Thank you so much.
I think the last thing that I want to share, just because it's for other moms, is like, yes, it's probably not going to be pretty, doing the work, and it's going to be hard at some points to facing your demons as such, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it, because you will have a life that fills you with joy, for sure.
And life that feels like yours
Yeah.
finally, that you recognize yourself back, you find yourself back. Yeah. What a great example. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you again for your courage, for your very open sharing. I really appreciate it. And for anybody who was just listening and you resonated with Jen's story, let us know. Let us know, what is it that was important for you? Where is it that Jen is your inspiration? And what is it that you're committing yourself to doing and changing, so that maybe, a few months from now, you'll be sitting on some podcast inspiring other moms. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to see you at the next episode of the Zen Supermom Podcast. Bye, Supermoms.